Hi, everybody. This is Josh from tradeology.com, and I have Piet Swart here with me today from Forex Income Map. How are you, Pete?
I'm fine, thanks. And yourself, Josh?
I'm doing well, Pete. Thanks.
That's great, man.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, kind of wondering what you're all about and who you are. So we're gonna ask you some questions today. What made you decide to become a trader?
I think it's the financial freedom and time, the possibility of financial freedom and time freedom that you can enjoy when you are successful, of course, in trading. So I think that was the thing that mostly drew me to Forex.
Well, cool. I think that's a big draw for a lot of people. They're looking for some time and some freedom. I know you have a lot of fans on Facebook and Twitter. What sort of emails do you get, and what kind of questions and comments?
Yes, Josh, I'm not used to this kind of stuff. So, getting all these questions and some of it is, it makes me feel very humble sometimes because just, some comments coming up there. Yes, but I appreciate all the good stuff that people say about me and things. But I think mostly, I get a lot of questions that goes around the technical stuff. But I think the underlying all important question that you can hear in all these questions is all a cry for help to become successful traders. And I think everybody wants to be eventually a full-time trader. And the reason for that is the very reason why I joined Forex is to become financially independent and for the time freedom, I think.
Well, cool. What's a typical trading day look like for you? What do you do in the morning? How do you start your day?
Yeah, I'm in the fortunate position now that I don't have to wake up a certain time. So I can wake up whenever I want. So that's one nice thing about trading Forex full time. But if I just get up early in the morning, sometimes switch on my PC, and then I get myself some coffee, and then I'll come back to my computer and just look at the markets quickly. So to see if which charts there might be setups on, and because I'm trading mostly on the 1 hour chart. So for instance, if I look at the seven o'clock chart, then I'll just be there for about 10 minutes, check out if there's setups. If there's nothing, I'll come back in 8 o'clock. At 5 to 8, spend about 5 to 10 minutes there, just see if there's anything, or if I'm in a trade, then just manage my trade if I need to do that. But I make sure that I don't stay glued to my screen. Then I'll just go, leave my PC and do my other things that I love doing.
Yeah, it seems like the less time you spend in front of your computer, the better you do sometimes, huh?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of an odd thing.
Yeah.
How would you describe yourself? What kind of person are you?
I'm not that kind of person that like to talk about myself, but if I have to describe myself, I think I'm a bubbly, outgoing person who likes to care for my fellow human beings. Yes, so I think that would roughly describe me.
Oh, cool. What is your favorite quote?
I've got two favorite ones that I like to use. One of them usually, um, you know, people would criticize me for, but I've got a saying that says only dead fish goes with the stream. So I'm always upstream, meaning that, I'm not usually with the masses. The masses is going this way, then I'll be going the other way. And then I've got another one that says, if it's to be, it's up to me. And this really served me well in life this far.
I think that kind of mentality can really carry someone a long way. We definitely have to we have to keep pushing. We have to keep fighting for what we want, and yeah, that's you've definitely come a long way, and we're definitely happy to have you here with us. What's your dream car?
Yeah, you've pressed the right nerve here. I really love cars. So, but currently I can tell you I have my eye on the new Land Rover Discovery 3. It's just absolutely an awesome vehicle. And, I've got a lot of plans for this, especially where I live, to go on this 4x4 journeys and things like that. So, yes, I can see myself in that car already, and I can smell the leather seats.
Ah, nice. Very, very nice. What's your favorite reading material? What's your favorite book to read?
Well, if I have to pick out one book, that would be the one Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The whole book, it's about your thinking patterns and about how your mind works, and it tell you basically that you can actually think yourself rich in any business if you just keep the right thoughts. That's kind of thoughts that I can succeed. And if you can keep that thoughts um, in your mind really alive, and then that thoughts can build anything around you. That will put your body in motion to move you to success. And it might sound very, very simple, but I can tell you it's absolutely the truth. And I've used that in my life. So yes, I would really, advise people to get this book and really read it. It's excellent stuff.
What's your favorite food to eat?
Well, that's one of my other passions is eating. Well, but over here in Africa, specifically in South Africa, we have what we call a braai. We call it braaivleis in Afrikaans. So, but that's when you take meat, either marinated or just normal meat, and grill it on hot coals. So it's nearly like a barbecue, but the difference is that I think barbecuing is more like cooking the meat with flames, and to braai is we're waiting for the flames to die away, and then we just grill it on the nice coals there. So yes, that's my favorite way to prepare my food is a lekker braai.
That sounds really, really good right now. I think I'm gonna have to find some of that for lunch. What do you do to relax?
I've got a lot of interests. For instance, one of my main ones is music. I like to listen to music. I, in actual fact, make music on my own. I love sports. I watch sports, specifically rugby and cricket. That is, and of course, then tennis. I also, on social side, play some social tennis. And then the other thing that keeps me away from my charts, that makes sure that I don't run back to my charts and just bring some discipline in my life. I'm also a part-time kind of carpenter, so I make small little chairs and things like that. That is very satisfying.
Well, good. What kind of music do you listen to?
Well, I like rock music, but the old kind, because I'm a big fan of Neil Diamond. And yes, if you look at the most recent musicians, I don't know if I'm busy cooling down or chilling down the older you get, but I love Katie Malua. And she's got that huge hit, 9 million bicycles in Beijing. So I really like her way of music. It's relaxing and absolutely great to listen to.
Do you play any instruments by any chance?
Yes, I'm fortunate to play guitar. I can play drums. I can play bass guitar, and then of course I also play the fool sometimes.
What are some of your favorite movies and TV shows?
Well, yeah, my favorite movie over and over, I mean, is Die Hard from Bruce Willis. I've seen all of them. I've seen Die Hard 1 about 5 times, Die Hard 2, Die Hard 3, and I mean, we had this joke. I think the first one is Die Hard, the second one is Die Very Hard, and then the third one is Die Very, Very, Very Hard. So you can keep, but I love that Die Hard. And then another movie that really inspired me was Braveheart from Mel Gibson. And as far as TV shows is concerned, I love to watch Survivor, especially Survivor America. And then, of course, Mr. Bean. I really enjoy Mr. Bean. It's good relaxation. And but there's a DVD called The Secret. It's a kind of documentary that I think is a must to watch for everyone. So it teaches you a lot about life and about prosperity. So if I can give you good advice, try to get hold of it and look at it. You would never be sorry that you've seen it.
Awesome. That sounds. Those are actually some of my favorite movies too. I haven't seen. I don't really watch Survivor, but I haven't seen The Secret. But that I'm gonna want to check that out. That sounds really interesting. What's in your pocket right now as we're speaking?
That's kind of a personal question, but yes, luckily no money. I rather keep my money in my trading account than in the bank. But let me just check. In my left pocket, I got a handkerchief. And in my right pocket, I have a memory stick. I always have my memory stick in my right pocket, which contains a lot of music usually. Because, like I say, one of my hobbies is making music. Maybe someday I might share some of my music that I've already written with you. You never know.
Well, that'd be great. We'd love to hear some of that. When where do you like to spend your holidays?
I've got two favorite destinations. Usually, one is any big game parks in the bush, where you are close to nature. For instance, I've already visited Zambia and I've been in Zimbabwe. That's here in Africa. So I don't like hunting at all. I just don't like it. But I like game viewing. I just like to be out there, where the nature is still intact and you can't see much of the human interference there. And another one of the most relaxing activities for me is to be just at a nice, quiet place at a beautiful beach. Yeah, that is, I think, my two most important destinations.
Are there anything that entertains you, like any hobbies that you have?
Yes, like I've previously said, but one of my passions is flying. I love flying ultralight planes, and I'm currently busy with my license right now. And usually, if I get the chance, I just go out and fly with someone, so I really enjoy it, and that also gives me a sense of freedom. And I think that's why most of us has got this thing in us to be free, either with flying or something like that. And I'm planning to buy myself an ultralight, within the next year or so.
Now, what is an ultralight?
It's usually a microlight. They call it also a microlight trike that goes through as an ultralight. So that's basically, put to people that doesn't know, is you sit in this little trike gadget underneath this huge wing that you're hanging on in the air, but you've got this propeller that pushes you forward and makes sure that you stay in the air. And then another form of ultralights is what they call gyrocopters. It's on the same basics, but it just it works just like a helicopter rather. But yeah, that's the two main kinds of ultralights that you get.
Well, that sounds interesting. Sounds like you have a lot of fun with those.
Absolutely.
If you could pick one person to have dinner with, who would that be?
Oh, yeah, I think that would be Richard Dennis. Definitely. For those who don't know, Richard Dennis, he's the one that did the turtle experiment. So he's the guy that believed that you can teach anyone to do trading and do it successfully. And then he went into a bet with his partner and he won that bet absolutely, with flying colors. So he proved that he picked students, trained them, give them money, and they made millions and millions and millions of dollars for him. So yes, I would love to have dinner with him and ask him all sorts of questions. So,
well, yeah, Richard Dennis is he's definitely an interesting guy. He took a group of people and that knew nothing, and then
absolutely
made him rich. That's it's a cool thing to know from that experiment that we can be taught. We don't have to be born into something. We don't have to be gifted, so to speak. We can learn something. We can learn how to do something.
Absolutely.
Cool. If you had to be stuck on an island, what would you bring with you?
Let me think.
Richard Dennis, right?
I don't know if he's going to be able to help me on an island. Yeah, so but I'll rather leave him at home, and then I think I'll bring along my Leatherman tool and a few fishing hooks, of course, to get myself some food, and then a flint. I think a flint also, and all this I pick up from Survivor, I suppose. So then I'll be able to make fire to cook my food and be able to build myself something to sleep under with my Leatherman tool. So yeah, I think that's it.
What's been the most difficult thing for you in trading?
Yeah, I think it's the discipline part that's quite difficult because you need to force yourself not to stay glued to your charts, like I said. Because the moment you are sitting in front of your TV and you start getting glued to your charts, that could lead to overtrading, which is a very, very, very bad thing. So, yeah, discipline, to overcome that discipline, to get that discipline into your training, that is the most, important thing. But I think I've done it. I'm 90% there, and you won't believe it. Us professional traders it could still be a hurdle sometimes if you just lose track, just lose focus, and then you can easily fall back into it. So you always have to stay alert to that.
There's gonna be a lot of people listening to this interview and reading our conversation. And I think a lot of us when we're first starting out and even after a couple of years of trading, we feel like there's this big secret that everybody else knows that we don't. Is there a secret to trading? What is it? What's your take on that?
Well, I think the so-called secret, if you want to call it that, I think that will differ from one trader to another. For one, it could be patience. That's just lacking there. For another, it could be something like consistency. For another one, it could be discipline. So you never know, because luckily in life, we're not all the same. So I think it really depends on your personality. So if I have to pinpoint it, it will be quite difficult because, like I say, it will differ from one person to another. And usually it's just that small little link that's gone. And that link could be your impatience. That link could be lack of discipline or, uncontrollable emotions or something like that. So I believe that is the so-called secret, if there was a secret.
What are your trading goals for this year?
Yeah, well, my trading goals for this year is to hit the 6 figures per month income at the end of the year. And so hopefully I'm still on track.
Well, we'll definitely see what the rest of the year brings. I think we're in for some good stuff though.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite trading website?
I think that must be Trader's Secret Library because yeah, you find a lot of good stuff there. Um, anything there, from systems to reports to webinars. It's a beginner trader's dream to be able to be part of that. So yes, I think it must be Trader's Secret Library.
I think that's probably one of my favorites too. I've been in there for quite a while, and there's so much in there. It should have its own Library of Congress number. I mean, it's there's so much in there. So many people can benefit from that, and I know that a lot of people have. What do you think traders are almost fanatical about your system? Like, why do you think people are going so crazy over this?
You know, I pick it up from the comments also. I think it's because of the simplicity. If I look at the comments that I get on the website and on Facebook, it's everybody is thanking me for bringing them back to the basics, bringing them back to showing them that you have to make it simple. So yes, I think it's the simplicity and the fact that it's a basic mechanical system.
Yeah, I've heard over and over again that most high level professional traders that are making a lot of money are using very very simple systems. Using very basic setups, and it's simple, easy to follow rules. Nothing. A lot of people think that they have to have all kinds of stuff on their charts, but that's not necessarily the case.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you on that one.
How often do setups happen for your system?
Yeah, you know the markets. Price is got his own mind and way of doing things. Nobody can tell it what to do or predict what it's going to do. But it depends on the market, really. Some weeks you get way too many setups, and some weeks are quiet. That's why it's also important to be able to restrain yourself. Some people think that many or the more setups you get, the more profits you make, but that's a myth. Uh, in actual fact, you only really need about 6 to 8 good winning trades a month. And then, you can earn a very good income.
I would definitely have to agree with that. I know for me, even when I first started trading, I thought I had to be in a trade all the time, and I learned that the less amount of trades that you're in every month, the less time you spend in front of your computer, the better you're going to do, and that's definitely something hard to get a hold of.
No, for sure.
There's a question that I've been meaning to ask you. How did you come up with your system?
Um, yeah, you can say it was trial and error because I was looking for a system that could help to reduce the emotional side of trading to the minimum. So then I kept on experimenting to see if I can get to something. And I think at one point I realized that I need to have a mechanical system to be able to reduce the emotional side of it. And that's how I came up with this one.
That's interesting. I think a lot of traders still, when they start out to try and create something of their own, they want to try and get the holy grail, the system that never loses. And it sounds like you started out with a different mindset. You wanted to reduce, your emotional involvement. You wanted something that you could trust, something that was going to be profitable, but not emotionally involved to the extent of, if you had a loss, then you'd hop to something else. So that's a really interesting approach. How do you handle the emotional side of trading?
Um, well, I think it's a series of things. Number one, I accept my losses as normal business expenses because I see this as a business. And a normal business has expenses like salaries and electricity and whatever they use. So in Forex, we're fortunate not to have them, and some people think we don't have them, but I see it from the start as a business, and I see a loss as a business expense. So every time I make it, I lose a trade, then I just say, well, I've just paid Paul now. The next loss I will pay Susan. you know. So that's how I see it. It's a normal business expense, and then I would look at my profits not over per trade or per day. I look at my profits over a monthly period. Because that tends to scramble your emotions when you look at every day. Oh my goodness, today I'm in a loss of $500, but forget it. I mean, tomorrow you make a win of you make a profit of about $700, so then you're $200 in profit again. So don't look at it for today, look at it at the period of a month, and that's how I do it.
Well, that's really good advice. I think a lot of us, we could be up one day, down the next, up one day, and down the next, and that can really that kind of mentality can really mess with somebody, and it's not very conducive for long term goals. Which actually leads me to my next question: where would you like to be 5 years from now?
um, uh, um, Honestly, I would like to be able to only trade on nothing less than a daily time frame, and some people might frown upon that. The point is, um, you know, I don't live for trading, and I've said that in the past. I trade for a living. That's what I do. So, and the reason why trading is so wonderful to me is because it gives me time to enjoy the things that I love. So, it's a vehicle to bring me to the things that I really want to do in life. So the more time I can have on hand and making the same kind of money, why not? I mean, I've got better things to do than that. I'd love to just travel. I've got a lot of things on my wish list still. I don't want to call it a bucket list, but yes. So yes, I think I want to see myself 5 years from now only be able to trading on the daily time frame, so I can have a look at my trades once a day, and that's it. The rest of the day is mine.
Yeah, absolutely. That would definitely free up a lot of time to spend doing what you really love doing. What one thing do you think really helps your trading?
Yeah, it must be consistency. I think consistency is one thing that really helps, especially because I've got a mechanical system, so I need to be consistent. In my trading. So if I'm not talking about during the night, while I'm sleeping, but if I get up in the morning and if it's 8 o'clock, I need to check my charts every hour, around every hour. So then I make sure that I don't miss setups from there on. And that's what I'm talking about consistency, So I take the setup. So if I know my system, for instance, would give me a 70% win ratio, then I know 7 out of 10 trades will be profitable trades. So for that reason, but if I miss then one of them, I could just as well have missed one of the profitable ones. So that would bring down my winning percentage for my system down very badly. So that's why consistency is so important in trading.
What sort of equipment do you use to trade?
I've got a normal PC, just with one monitor, because you don't really need that many monitors to trade with. You just need the normal PC with a good internet connection, and that's it. And you are in business, so you don't need to be fancy. Uh, there's nobody's going to praise you for your lovely workstation, because the main thing is I would rather get people to praise me for all the profits that I make than praising me for my beautiful workstation.
What was your best trade ever?
Yes, that's a difficult one. Yeah, let me put it this way. The best trade that I ever had is the last one that I made profit on. So it will always be like that. My last profitable trade will always be my best trade.
That's a really great way to look at it. That really would help with the consistency and just keeping things, not getting too excited about yeah, I won. Just keeping a level head. That's a really good way to do it.
Absolutely.
What was your worst trade ever?
Uh, yuck. I had one.
The last one you lost?
Yes, that could just as well be. But this one that I remember, and I know I've forced my mind to delete that one, but I can feel it coming back again, and I can feel the pain. There was one trade that I was so stupid to trade without the stop loss. The trade just turned against me, and it just kept on falling and falling and falling, and I tried to close it, and it wouldn't close, and it just kept falling and falling. And you know that feeling. You get that feeling of you don't know what to do. It is that feeling you're not in control anymore, and it just kept falling until I was at that stage to start getting the phone number of the broker to phone him, and then luckily it stopped, or gave me some room just to close it quickly. But it comes down to my inexperience, because then from that I've learned. Those people in the circus, they call them the trapeze. They swing around in the big tent there. It's the same thing. If you're a trapeze there or flying around on those trapeze and you do that without the safety net at the bottom, it's the same thing if you trade without the stop loss.
What have you learned in farming that you can apply to Forex trading?
Well, I can say if I look back at my farming career, then I think the most important things that I've learned from there is faith, patience, and yes, of course, simplicity. Because that's what you need on a farm. Everything must be done the simplest way possible. So it must make sense. So yes, if I learned something from farming, this is what I can bring into my Forex business.
That's really cool. My grandfather always told me that no matter what we do, we always we're gonna learn something.
Yep.
new with everything that we do, and we can always carry that on to whatever we're doing next.
Absolutely.
So that's really cool. What do you think the biggest single mistake is that a lot of traders make?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question because I think, from a personal point of view, I think it's not respecting trading for what it really is. Now, I mean, if I could, elaborate on that, is a lot of people is the moment they hear about Forex, then they hear the stories about people that made $1 million here and $1 million there and overnight and that kind of stuff. So, and then they immediately go into a mindset of thinking, a gamble type of mindset. It's a get rich quick thing. It's a quick buck. It's a sideline quick thing. That kind of thing. So, and the moment you're in that mindset, then you're not respecting trading for what it really is. And what trading really is, it's an actual fact a trade. As far as I'm concerned, I'm so passionate about it that it's a trade that you have to learn. And in any trade, I mean, if you wanna learn the trade of being an electrician, I mean, I cannot just give you a book and say, listen, take this book and go and study it for 2 days, and then you can come back on the third day and we're going to work on live wires, okay? And then you'll see what happens. I mean, it will be absolutely disastrous. So it's the same thing. It's a trade. In electrician in my country, there's a period that you have to have a certain amount of practical experience, and all your whole course is in a duration of about 3 years. And, so they make sure that you know everything about it and you know the safety aspects and everything. Because I always like to compare trading to electricity. Electricity is a powerful thing. Electricity can cook you a nice dinner. It can give you a lot of pleasure. It can give you lights at night. You can power up your Wi-Fi. You can listen music. But electricity, using it the wrong way or with inexperience, can kill you. And that is the same thing. Unfortunately, that's how it is.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I tell people all the time, trading is like you said, it's like going to school. You go to college to learn something, and then when you graduate, you hope that, you're hoping for that high paying job, and but you got to go to school for it.
Absolutely.
You got to learn it.
Yeah, you see, you have to respect it. You have to keep on respecting it. If you don't respect it, it is going to hurt you. And that is, I think, most traders' biggest mistake.
Absolutely. There's only about 5% of traders that are consistently profitable. When people start out, they hear that all the time. 95% of traders fail. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, if I can pinpoint it to one single thing, I would personally think it's a lack of discipline. Because if I talk about discipline, I include in discipline your control over your emotions. So I think discipline covers a wide range, and it can have a lot of things in there. But I think the single most important thing there is a lack of discipline. And I mean, this is a subject on its own, and I mean, we can discuss this for the next hour. We don't have the time, unfortunately, to do that. But I think it's lack of discipline, definitely.
If you could give everyone reading this and listening to this interview one piece of trading advice, what would it be?
Yeah, that's a difficult one, but if I think about it, let me put it this way. The only difference between the listeners out there and the 5% traders who make money now is, number one, knowledge of trading, okay, which you can attain. How fast you want to get that, it's up to you. And number two, I come back to my previous answer, is discipline. Like I said, which includes controlling your emotions. If you can make an effort, a really great effort, to gain the proper training knowledge or the proper trading knowledge that you need to be able to do trading, then you can only start to condition your mind and put your mind in that time, that right frame for trading. Now you might say, but goodness gracious, this is a psychological thing. I'll never be able to do it. I'm talking about simple stuff. Simple stuff. The question that you asked me earlier, it's small, simple things. Like, for instance, just conditioning your mind that every loss is a business expense. that is a new conditioning that I've had to do in my mind. Can you see? It's simple stuff. I mean, it's not like you have to go see a shrink for the next 12 months to be able to put that machines on you and, delete some of your memory and put new memory. It's stupid, simple things. So, if you can get in that frame of mind, which I call the trading mind frame, and you really made a proper effort to gain all the knowledge that you need. That is knowledge like, knowledge how the platform is working, what the market does, all the indicators. Well, not all the indicators, but the basic ones, support and resistance, that kind of stuff, and I can tell you, if you can do that, you've got a great future in Forex trading.
Absolutely. Pete, that's really great advice. That's, yeah, those are definitely up there. You take a look at the people that are really making it in this business, and they're doing exactly that. They've got the right mindset and they've got the right discipline, and they're really, they have it down. And if there's anything that you'd like to say to anybody listening right now, any of your fans, what would that be?
Yeah, well, I for this one is the only question that I've prepared for. So, yes, I have a very nice surprise. I've received a lot of feedback about how to get my system, and many people have told me that they cannot fund any account for the lack of money. So, usually that's the problem. You start off in Forex, you gain all the knowledge, everything that I was talking about, and then, you've done your part on the demo account, and now you want to move over. Now you've got that lack of money. So I've come up with a scholarship. This scholarship is worth $1,000 to get you started at training. So, and you will also get a copy of my Forex income map, which you'll use to trade this $1,000. All you have to do is make a comment on my website, also on Facebook, and I will choose the most meaningful comment to win this fantastic prize, which I think is a fantastic prize, because remember, you get my system with everything included, and that goes with it. Plus, you get that $1,000 for your trading account. So I think this is something worth putting effort in for, to try and get this. So yes, this is an invitation to you out there, and this is just a gift from my side to show my appreciation and to encourage you guys. So yes, go out there. If you're interested, go to the website, www.forexincomemap.com. Make your comment there, or you can go to my Facebook page. Yeah.
Well, that's a very generous offer, Pete, and I can speak from experience. Being given a system that is rock solid, and access to the trader that created it, and having him there to guide you and make sure that you're doing the right thing, and you're doing it properly. That's priceless. That's really worth its weight in gold. Literally, and so that's a really cool thing. I want to thank you, Pete, for spending the time with us today, and I'm sure that we're going to see lots more of you in the years to come.
Well, yeah, I really hope that we'll see more from each other, and I would love to see all of you guys there at the finishing line, where we are all great profitable traders. So thank you for allowing me to share some things about myself today. And you can be sure I'll talk to you again soon.
All right, Pete. Well, sounds good. You have a great day.
The same to you. Thanks, Josh.
Not a problem.